Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Right as a blizzard is going through my street, it is pandemonium over here. What a time to start the show. That was pretty wild. Welcome back to Tech Bites. My name is Dan Hafner, and I have another special guest today. I want to bring on, we're going to talk about the world of technology, like we do a lot on this show, but specifically technology adoption, right? We all, especially if we're in business, we're working from home, we're kind of starting our own businesses, whatever we're doing, we can tend to get drowned sometimes in the tech stack, meaning that we buy this tool for this thing, we buy this thing, we see an ad for this cool thing on Facebook, we buy it, but we never use half of this stuff. Very interesting thing. I've fallen down this rabbit hole myself when I was starting out my business. I'll be honest, I sometimes fall into this trap as well, still to this day. But there's so many tools out there. There's so many things that AI is bringing to this conversation. There's so many different avenues. Like, how do we make sense of all of this? So Charly is hopefully going to give us a little bit of guidance and clarity on this. And I'm very excited to pick her brain. She's been working, I believe, over 40 years in technology. She's built all kinds of businesses, run franchises, done a lot of things. So before we bring her in, obviously, welcome back to the show. Please subscribe. Please like the show. Please, share this episode with anyone you think finds value out of it. But we'll bring Charly in. How are you, Charly? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, Dan, thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here. So I'm Charly, as Dan said, and if you haven't guessed already, I'm Australian because of the accent. I am Australian. Don't call me a Kiwi. I'm an Australian. Now, I have actually been in technology for over 40 years. I was doing this before it was even IT. Back then, it was electronics and communications. We didn't even know what IT was. It didn't exist. I started young. I earned my amateur radio license when I was 13. I was the youngest at the time. I'm not anymore, but I was at the time. I raced dirt bikes competitively as a teenager. By the time I was 21, I had done an associate diploma of electronics engineering, and by 30, I had my MBA. I finished that MBA in 2 years, part-time, while working 60 hours a week with 2 kids under 8. Now, I don't recommend that approach to anyone, ever. Don't do it. But it did teach me a lot about how to get things done when there's no room for excuses. So from there, I have done across the 40 years, I've been a field tech. I've done team leadership. I've been a salesperson, a project manager, a client relationship manager, a contract manager. I even wrote a training manual for a dog training club that I was part of as we introduced a new training method into Australia. So as you mentioned, I had franchises. At 40, I got bored. So I bought myself another job, and they failed spectacularly. After 4 years, they failed spectacularly, which taught me an awful lot. I knew a lot about business. It taught me a lot more about business than that. There are things that no one ever tells you that you've just got to learn yourselves. But I started over and I built this business, as Charly Leetham. And I did that because I just had to put money out. I just had to put food on the table, had to keep my kids in school, had to do all of those things. So what you're going to get is a kind of a conglomeration of all of that experience that I've had that leads me to doing what I do now, which is helping businesses manage their tech. I try to make tech easy for businesses. That's me in a nutshell.
Awesome. Yeah, that's quite the story. So yeah, you guys can check that out. AskCharlyLeetham.com. I'll put the link forward here. Charly does not have an E, by the way, if you're just listening to this. We'll put that link for you guys in the show notes. So yeah, you have a ton of experience in this. Definitely more than me. So you've seen, I mean, over the years, you've seen all of the different changes, obviously, that have come along with this stuff. I think that there's probably, we are human beings and we tend to repeat our mistakes over and over and over again. So my first question for you is, with all of the changes in how technology for businesses has evolved over time, what hasn't changed about how we as people struggle with it, and business owners particularly struggle with it?
It hasn't changed. I can find something free to do it. and I will spend all my time finding that free tool to do something rather than finding something that is a moderately reasonably priced thing that works that you can just put in place and go use.
Mm,
Because we have as humans, we have a mindset that if it's free, we're not paying for it, therefore it's better. But what we don't take into consideration is our time is worth something. Business owners don't take into consideration that their time is actually worth something. While they're working on this thing, they're not bringing money through the door. That's one of the first things that I'll say. That's pretty universal, and it's a big discussion I have with a lot of people in terms of. Yes, I know you're looking for a free tool, but this one costs you, let's say it costs $20 a month. And that $20 a month, you're going to be saving 2 or 3 hours. What's that to you?
yeah.
What is that to you in terms of what you're outlaying now to do it?
I mean,
The
no,
Sorry,
go
go
ahead.
on.
I was just going to say that makes a ton of sense, and I think I see that partly in myself. I see that in clients and people that I work with too, especially when you're starting out. Like, you want to make sure that cash is tight, and you want to make sure you're getting the most. There are a lot of tools out there that can be used for free or on the free tier, and you can get value out of them. But yeah, I think you're right. Like, if you really find something that's useful and that you're going to get use out of, $20 a month should not break the business. You know what I mean? Like, you should really just figure out a way to make it work, you know? But yeah, anyway, just continue. What was the next thing you were going
Yeah.
to say?
Well, so then if you want to flip that around, because I was gonna say something else, but let's flip that around. The other thing that I see is someone comes in and says, "Oh, I'm going to spend $300 a month and this is going to make me all of this money, or it's going to save me all of this money."
Mm,
But they don't know how they're going to use it. They don't understand their business processes. They don't really understand what that tool is going to do for them. So now they're outlaying all this money. They're not using the tool. It's not doing what they want. They're getting frustrated because they come in to use this tool or this process and it just doesn't fit the way they do their business. And now they're wasting not only the money they're spending, but the time they're spending trying to make it work. So you've got two sides of that spectrum. And I want to just sort of say, I'm not bagging free tools. If you can find something to do something for free and it's going to do what you want it to do, and you don't have to do a lot around making it work, use it. As long as as long as your security and your privacy and your support is handled, use it. But don't go spending hours of time trying to find that free tool when you've got something that's sitting there that's going to save you those hours looking for it. So there's that real sort of balance of how well do I know my business? How well do I know my processes? How well do I know what I need to do and what I need to deliver and who my customers are versus what tools do I have to put in place?
yeah. No,
That would be probably,
it's a good point. I mean, I think I dove down that path with a couple of tools, and maybe we can blame the marketers. They just have very good ways of selling things to you that make it sound like this is an easy button. I'm gonna make all kinds of money from it. Um, but yeah, I'm curious. Like, do you? So especially when I was starting out, even to this day, sometimes I'm a lot better at it. It used to be like my drug of choice was software. You know what I mean? Like, it would just be like, I'm just going to go to these tools like AppSumo. Like, I've talked about it on this show. I think it's an incredibly valuable platform. You can find all kinds of things that, and a lot of it is it's cool because they have lifetime licenses, right? You don't have to pay a monthly fee for something. You can buy, an emailing software or a productivity manager software or a no code tool software, anything for maybe $67 a month, or there's a tier for 97 or 197 or like whatever. So it ultimately saves you money over time. But I also went through a phase where I bought way too much stuff, and like my shelf, it's like a bookshelf. It's like they all these tools have dust. Like, I've never used many. I do use some of them. I have not used many of them that I've bought. Right. So do you have a process for walking people through, like, here's maybe what you actually should invest in and what can really help you, versus you're just probably going to waste money on this thing. Do you have a process you ever work through? Do you have a client you've ever helped through this process or anything like that?
I have a lot of people I've helped actually, and I do a lot of this for free. If you're in groups with me and you post a question into a group, you will normally, I try to give really thoughtful and reasoned out answers, not just a don't do it, or, I see a lot of flippant answers out there. I try to give lots of reasoned and thoughtful answers. I normally start with, what is your objective? What is it you are, what's your end goal? I don't care about how we're going to get there. I don't care about the tools we're going to use. Where are you starting from and what is your end goal? Let's just look at those two things. Don't worry about the black box in the middle. It's a black box in the middle. We'll work that out in a minute. But what is it? What is it you're doing? Okay, cool. So you've got a client here and you're trying to deliver, let's say it's an email newsletter. This is actually a really good one. Which email newsletter tool should I use? Okay, cool. How many subscribers do you think you're going to have? Well, how many subscribers are you starting with? And how many subscribers do you think you're going to grow your list to? You're going to have hundreds of thousands. You're going to have tens of thousands. You're going to have a couple of thousand. Most businesses, a couple of thousand. They're not going to get into the big numbers, not for a very long time. Okay, so that's cool. Now, how often are you going to send an email? Once a month. Okay, cool. How much work do you want to put into actually making that email newsletter look good? Or do you want to just something that you can just sort of fill in a profile form, a template, and send it out? You want something, okay, cool. Now we're down to a really narrow band of tools that we can look at. Do you have a CRM? No, you don't have a CRM. Okay, so we don't have to worry about the integration. What are the other integration tools we need to worry about? Where are your leads coming from? Are you collecting them from Facebook? Are you collecting them from your website? Are you getting them from LinkedIn? Are you taking them from your e-commerce site? Are you getting them from trade shows or an in-store sign-up form? Because that all matters as to how you bring them into that list. It all matters how much time you spend bringing them into the centralized list and managing them and making sure that you're meeting all of your canned spam and privacy principles and Australian spam laws and wherever else you're operating. GDPR is actually massive internationally at the moment, massive. People don't realize how big that one is. But that'll then determines, do we go with this tool? Do we go with this tool? Do we need a couple of other tools in the middle of it to make this process easier for you? Do we need to just put a manual process in place? Do we put an automated process in place? Where is it you want to be? Where are you in your business journey? Are you just starting up? Because if you're just starting up, I'm going to tell you to spend as little money as possible as you can on this. I firmly believe in bootstrapping businesses. I don't think you should be out there putting huge amounts of investment into big systems. I think you need to invest wisely as you go along. So these are the questions that I ask as we go as to where is the next part of that investment? Where do we need to put it? Where should you be building this? What in your pipeline? Pipelines. We're not talking sales, but in your planning, whereabouts are you in that business journey as well? What do you think your next big step is? Because some of these smaller steps may inform that big step, or that big step may inform our next small step. Does that
That's
make some
good.
sense?
Yeah, no, it does. It does. I appreciate that. Yeah, because I mean, I think it's one thing I kind of realized on my own, and I think I've definitely had times where I call it like overkill, right? It was kind of like again going back to like the app Sumo example. There would be tiers of something that would, and then the top one might be $300 or $400. And I'd be like, oh, I need that. I need that level because I can scale it unlimited and I can have unlimited people in this. And it could just be like, I don't have any cap on it. Right. And looking back on that, like, did I need to do those things? There's a tool I use every day now for doing designs and UI stuff and mockups for clients and stuff. And I have so many credits left available because I bought like the highest tier that I just like clearly didn't need. Um, and it's like, okay, why did I do that? Why did that need to be something that is actually, because I think, but I didn't walk myself through that process that you just talked about. I just was like, oh, this is cool. This is cool. So, well, and that kind of brings me to like my next question is like, do you see a common area or a common theme of tools that people are paying for or have paid for that they're not using? kind of like what I was talking about before? Do you see like a common area? Is it emailing? Is it social media? Like what's the tool that we might be able to kind of call out here?
Oh, okay. I can go back a couple of years ago, and I cannot even think of the name of the tool. It's going to come to me like at 2 in the morning. I'm going to wake up and go, that was the tool. I had a bunch of customers who were on things like Aweber and MailChimp, and this new it wasn't a CRM, it was an email marketing. It sits a little bit below Salesforce. It's around the active campaign level. I cannot remember what it was called, but they had e-commerce, they had mail, they had this, they had that, and it was expensive. Like this, we were talking a couple of years ago at about $79 US a month. And this is 4 or 5 years ago when, actually, no, it was longer than that. That this is what happens when you've been in business in this long. The
Yeah.
years sort of can get, but it was really, really expensive, and I saw my clients like they were buying it and they were moving to it, and then they're like, "Well, Charlie, we need to make this work." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Let me go in and have a look." "Well, guys, this doesn't integrate with your systems. It doesn't do this. It doesn't do that. Oh, you want this function? Well, now you have to pay extra on top of it, but that should be included in that price." "Well, no, it's not, and it says quite clearly here it's not." Um, so that was one at the time. So you tend to get waves of. You said we can blame the marketers. I don't blame the marketers. They've got a job to do, and they do their
Yeah.
job very, very well because they hit that emotional point for us. Like they know what it is that's going to make us buy. Um, so email marketing tools would be a big one. People just over scoping that rather than saying we just need to build a list. What's the minimum thing we need to build a list? Um, There's flip side to that is that they'll buy an email marketing tool, but they won't buy a CRM. They won't buy something that will manage their contacts and pull all of their information into a central point. So then they have their email contact lists on their computers or their phones, your personal contact lists. And they've got their email marketing lists in their marketing system. Then they've got their e-commerce list on their website, but they're not pulling all of those contacts out and bringing them into a central point. They've got no history as to what these customers are doing. They're pulling them from all over the place. So we've got two parts to that. They're putting money into things that maybe they don't need to right away, email marketing systems, social media management systems, without looking at how do we manage this at a whole. The other side to that, I'm all over the place, but then I see some clients go, well, I'm going to build this really big CRM, and they put all their money into their CRM, but they don't know how to use it. They haven't sorted out what their workflows are. They don't know what their pipelines are, what their customer journey is. And the CRM is just not the right, that CRM is not the right tool for them. They might go with, and I don't want to call out any particular product here because they all have their benefits. They all have pros and cons, but someone might go with a HubSpot, for example, thinking, oh, well, this is going to do everything we need it to do. Well, HubSpot's actually really limited. It does some things really, really well, but it's very limited. I've got a lot of people moving to Go High Level at the moment, and I'm working with them on Go High Level. And we hit a point, and I'm like, okay, well, we want to do this. Oh, no, that's a paid function. If you want to use that, you've got to pay for that on top of your subscription.
Mhm.
And then, on the other side of that, we've got the Zoho CRM and we've got the Salesforce CRM, and we've got all of those really big systems. Zoho's probably then in a nice area there. The others too big for small business. So what are the things that I'm seeing people do? Email marketing tools would be the big one. Either not having one at all or having them buying the big one because they think, oh, that's what we need to do. Um, website management. You might see this as well. Website
Yeah.
management. They oh, we're going to go with this managed platform. We're going to go with this managed package. So whoever it is out there selling a managed website package, and when it doesn't work, you get someone like me to come in and help you work it out. And I get into it and I'm like, well, the package doesn't deliver what you think it's delivering. And you're probably paying 2.5 times more what you would if you had it yourself and had someone like myself or yourself or just a small team helping you manage it because most of this stuff just runs in the background. You don't have to worry about it. It's only when you've got the anomalies you need to worry about it. So managed platforms are one of the big ones. Oh, sorry, my bugbear at the moment, accounting software. I'm seeing my accounting package, which is a very big accounting package. It's doubled its price in 3 years. Doubled its price in 3 years. And I don't use half of the functionality it's giving me. And it really annoys me. And I message them regularly and I say, I'm not using this stuff. Can you just give us a tier for a small business to run their business? Because I don't need this and I don't need that and I don't want this and I don't want all of your AI tools. I don't need them. I don't want them. They're not going to help me. I don't have the time to learn them. So why am I paying for this? Why don't you just let me pay for that when I'm ready to, and maybe bump that price a little bit, because when I'm ready to pay for it, I will pay for it,
Yeah.
but I don't want to pay for it now. There you
Yeah.
go. You got me on a rant there, didn't you?
No, 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 that's good. That's good. I definitely see a lot of that. So let's go to, I think there's a huge, if anyone's listening to this and maybe you're not a business owner that's gotten to that point, there's a huge market for like going in and consulting on businesses of like, hey, maybe you should cut this out. Maybe you should not do this or differently. But one thing I want to ask you, so, okay, let's go to the other extreme. So let's say you've been in business for a while. I was actually talking about this in a mastermind I was in earlier this year, and we got to talking about like everyone was comparing how much they pay in subscriptions per month. It was like
Right?
it was
It's
pretty funny.
horrifying.
It's like the TV subscriptions, you find out like, oh, I have Netflix and this and that and this, and now it's like, I DirecTV would be cheaper. Like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? So okay, so do you have a process of, or do you have clients that you've helped through that process of like, hey, you have a lot of like things that are redundant here, or things that are not
Yeah. Yeah.
like, or you really don't need, or kind of paring that back, but still being able to function your business at the same level. Like, have you ever run into that situation?
Regularly, actually, regularly. And it's not just at the business level either. I do a lot of work on websites and maintaining websites. And if I can just sort of bring it really macro or micro into that, one of the things I found is I'll get into a website. WordPress websites are terrible for this, particularly ones that have been around for a bit and haven't been well maintained. I'll get in and there's this list of plugins they've got, and they're all activated, and the site runs terribly. And when I finally get through it and go, right, what does this plugin do? And what does this plugin do? And what does this plugin do? Three of them actually do exactly the same thing, just slightly different. One's got this function that they're using, and one's got this function that they're using, and one's got this function that they're using. And that's why they've got the three plugins, because they've all got different functions, but they all do the same thing. It's just these little functions. Okay, so these are the things you're doing. What can we do to streamline that? Is there one that we can do? Is there a function we can do without? Is there, how do we consolidate this so you're not got so much on your site, so you're not got so many things? A lot of those are paid plugins too, so they are paying their annual fees on them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of the first things we do is, if you want to look at it at a micro level, is just look at everything we're doing, everything that you've got. What is it doing? Does it have a purpose? Why are you using it? I also want to say it's a great question, because I just put out a podcast episode, I think this week, maybe it was last week, about what to do as you come up to the end of the year, and we're starting to slow down a bit. That was one of the things, is go through your credit card statements, go through your banking statements and see what you're paying for. Have a look at everything that's going out. Highlight where you've got those subscriptions, highlight where you're paying money out, and think, do I need this? Am I still using it? I've had people say to me, why am I paying this $57 a month? I'm like, I don't know. What's it for? Well, it says it's for this. So, yeah, you go and look it up and you log into the account. You're like, guys, this was deactivated for you. When I say deactivated, the functionality was removed from your systems 3 years ago.
Hmm.
When you upgraded this system to this system, you're no longer using this, but someone forgot to cancel the subscription. No one wanted to cancel the subscription in case it broke something along the
Yeah. That's the
way.
scary part. Yeah.
And it's yeah, and their thoughts at that point is it's only $57 a month. It's only 37. It's only $97 a month. If I break something, it's going to cost me a lot more than that. So I'm just going to keep paying it until I can work out what it is. No one ever gets around to working out what it is. They need someone to sit down and go through it. So yeah, so the process I go through, I even do it myself, is once a quarter, look at what I'm paying. I mean, I manage my as a business owner, I manage my expenses really closely. And I know a lot of businesses don't, but you should be. You absolutely should be looking at your
Yeah.
expenses.
Yeah.
Every month, you should at least do a quick go through on your expenses and say, is there anything there that looks anomalous, like unusual? Is there something there that I'm going, what is that? Why am I paying that? Because that's probably something you need to look at. But once a quarter, I sit down and I go through my expenses and I go, okay, I'm paying this, I'm paying that, I'm paying this. And why do I do it once a quarter and not once a year? Because one, I'll catch it earlier. I might be able to save myself a couple of months at
Hmm.
least. Um, but yeah, some of the money bill 6 monthly, some of the money bill annually, some of them bill by usage. So every now and again, you get hit with an invoice. You're like, what was that for? Oh, that's a usage based invoice. Why am I paying usage on this? What have I done that's triggered the usage cap on it?
Yeah.
Is there something there that do I need to this is where the start with the smaller tiers. Do I need to migrate to a bigger tier now, a larger tier, to get the benefits of the savings there, rather than just paying my pay as you go? That's what we
Yeah.
call it.
Well, that's actually another like sub question that I kind of want to ask you too. Like, um, do you ever recommend that people buy things like tools annually rather than monthly? And I'll just as a follow up because I actually find myself um, a little more attracted to annual subscriptions for anything because a lot of them will offer like 2 months free. It's kind of like you save 20% kind of thing. It's more money out of pocket before, but you also save that money. And then then the thing comes along of like a lot of mine are renewing. I always buy stuff kind of in December for some
The
reason,
same time.
and then I get,
Yeah.
this bill comes, I'm like, $250. Where did, oh, yeah, I forgot about that one. I'm just curious, like, is there a different process or a thought behind that you have at all?
Look, exactly what you just said. If I can save a reasonable amount. I mean, it doesn't have to be a lot, but if I can save money by buying it annually or by buying it 6 monthly, then yeah, I will try. If I've got the funds available, I will try to do an annual subscription. I will recommend to people just pay it annually. There's a couple of reasons for that. One is you're not worried about trying to cover that cost every month. So if you miss a month and it's a bit tight and you don't have, for example, the $67 in the bank account when that comes out, or on your credit card when that comes out, you're not stressing because, oh, I've got to get this paid, otherwise they're going to cancel my subscription. Now, some subscriptions can be really, really quite cutthroat. And if you don't pay it, they cut you off straight away. A lot I've found have become a little bit more lenient. And they'll give you 7 or 14 days to get that cleared up before they cut you off. But if you're paying it upfront annually, you've got a year. So then what I what we should be doing, smart business says what we should be doing is taking that amount, dividing it by 12 and putting that away every month in a bank account. So when it comes up, we can just pay the subscription. How many of us do that? But that would be the smart move. What I then also do is I recommend, and I try to do it myself, I put a reminder in my calendar a month before, 14
That's
days
helpful.
before,
Yep.
a week before. This is due. It's going to be this much money. So I can start to get that sorted out so that I don't get the email in my account going, we tried to bill you 350 US dollars. And yeah, 350 US dollars, just to put it in perspective, is kind of like 450 Australian. It's not, it doesn't
Right.
sort of, people say, oh, it's only $20 a month. It's like, yeah, no, it's close to 50 for me.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to keep that conversion in mind. Yeah. That's interesting.
So, yeah, yes, I do. And I really, really strongly recommend if you can save a few dollars by buying annually and it makes sense, then buy annually. Now, that's if it's something you're going to be using regularly. I have, what have I got? I've got ChatGPT and I've got Claude AI subscriptions at the moment. and I pay for them monthly. Why? Because I don't use them every month. I am at the moment, but I wasn't using them every month. So the months that I'm going, I'm coming up to the end of the month. I don't see that I've got anything for the next couple of weeks. I won't renew the subscription. I'll just cancel the subscription. And then when I need it again, I will pull it up. I will go in and I will pay for my month. I'll pay for the month's usage. Now, when it gets to a point that I'm paying that every month and I'm paying it regularly, I will probably go to an annual subscription. So you've got that benefit there is you pay a little bit more monthly if it's intermittent usage. But if you're something you're going to use all the time, absolutely. And they're offering you a discount to pay annually, go that way.
Yeah, I've found that with myself. I've found that a lot of times I've just been like, I'm just going to dive in and do the annual stuff. But then I also realized that there's been ones that I've done that with that I've used for a month and then never used again. So it's like I way overpaid for that, and I should have started off with, like you said, like that's kind of a policy I have now is like I will sign up for something maybe for a month or two, maybe 3, and then if I notice that I'm using it and it's worth it, then I'll just be like, yeah, let's just transition to an annual. That makes sense. But because I've burned myself in the past of like, I bought this annual thing and now I used it for like 2 days and now I don't really have a need for it anymore because I thought I was going to use it more, you know? So that's kind of an interesting thing. But
Or they sell it to you and you think this is going to be great, and you get into it, you're like, oh, this does not do what they said it was going to do.
yeah, and I mean, in that case, I would definitely request like a refund or something. But but yeah, that's kind of my process is like, instead of burning myself like I have before, I'm just like, okay, let's dabble in this a little bit, and then once I realize that this is worth it, like then I'll do that. So, but yeah, anyway,
If I might,
um,
there's one other hint that I will give you on this is that if sometimes when you go to try something, it says, 7-day free trial, but you've got to go through and put your credit card, or a month free trial, and you got to go through and put your credit card in. And I get to a point sometimes it's like, if you want my credit card, I'm not really interested. I'll go find something else. But sometimes you get to a point of like, I need this, I've got to do it. So I'm just going to put my credit card in. And then what the process is they hope you will forget. So they get to bill
yeah,
you at
that's
the
how they
end
work.
of it.
Yep.
But you don't get any notices really. You just get the bill on your credit card. You're like, oh, yeah. The thing that I do is once I've signed up, I will then go in and cancel the subscription straight away.
I've done
Because
that
they will
too.
normally
Yeah.
let you run for that month for free, and then it doesn't renew. So I will go in and do it. Now, if you can't do that and they won't let you cancel because, oh, no, you'll cancel everything and you won't get access to it as of today, try to find one-use credit cards. It sounds terrible, but find the single-use credit card and just stick that in. Or I've got ones that I can actually cap my payments on. So the maximum you can spend on this is $1. So nothing will ever bill on that.
Yeah, that's smart. That's a smart idea. Yeah.
It just saves you when you're going through trying to test out things to see if it works. And it just saves you. It's actually saved me considerable hundreds of dollars at times.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we're all victim. I think that's just how a lot of those are. They're done. Is just like, yeah, we think you'll forget, and then and then you do, and then they get your money. But yeah. Anyway, so all right. Well, yeah. This has been very very interesting. I know we could talk about this for probably a couple more hours. I don't want to make an episode that long, but what I will say is, if you are intrigued by this conversation with Charly and how we've kind of dove into this kind of topic, and you'd like to learn more, you can go check out and talk to her directly at askcharlyleetham.com. We'll have the link for that below. Very, very knowledgeable, very useful resource. I highly recommend you guys go over there and check that out. And yeah, do you have anything else to add, Charly, before we sign off?
And look, I don't. I am going to recommend that people go and listen to my podcast. I release an episode every other day, and I talk about things like this. Sometimes I'll do how-tos on how to do things, but I do talk about this sort of thing regularly. So
What's it called?
My podcast, Rise and Shine, Your Business Tech Boost with Charly Leetham.
Okay, awesome. Say that again one more time for the listeners.
I'll say it slowly too, so you don't get my accent. Rise and Shine, Your Business Tech Boost with Charly Leetham.
There you go. There you have it, guys. You hop over there, subscribe over to her channel as well. Definitely, I've not taken a listen, but I will definitely be definitely be checking that out myself as well. I'm always interested in those kinds of conversations. So, all right. Well, that is a wrap for the show. Charly, thank you so much for coming on. We will definitely be checking out your show, and we'll definitely be heading over to askcharlyleetham.com for some additional questions or conversations that we might want to have with you as well. So that is all for this episode. As always, thank you all for joining. I really appreciate all of you coming on and taking time out of your day to learn a little bit about what we're talking about here. Hopefully we provide some value, provide us some insights and some, if anything, just some friendly conversation while you're driving to work or driving home from work or whatever that might be. So thank you all for listening and joining in. Please like and subscribe the show if you have not already, and share this episode with anyone you think might find value. My name is Dan Hafner, and we'll talk to you next time. See ya.
Thanks for tuning in to Tech Bites, your go-to show for software business and technology. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay updated with our latest episodes, insights, and stories. Hungry for more? Dive deeper into the world of no-code by visiting dapanacode.com. Your journey to building amazing software without coding skills starts there. Connect with like-minded creators and unlock a world of resources tailored just for you. Subscribe now. Explore Dapa No Code and let's innovate together.